The story of my mother. So she said, "Oh my God, you look so young." Was she already elderly when she had you? So this is part one of the story of my mom. So my mom was 48 years old, and my dad was 55, I want to say. And they had been married over 30 years when they adopted me. I am the daughter of her great niece, my grandfather's daughter. And so I was about 2 months old when they adopted me. See, my mother had one child who was a year older than me, and she was currently being raised by my grandparents in Mississippi, Rolling Fork, Mississippi to be exact. And my parents, my mother that I talk about so much, was living in Pennsylvania with her husband. They had been living there I'd say about 20 years at this point. They had relocated from Mississippi in the Great Migration, originally going to Chicago and then transferring over to Pennsylvania. And I'm going to tell you guys this story based on my mom telling me this story a million times and then other relatives confirming parts of this story. So it was 1973, and my great-grandmother, who is my grandmother's mother, the one that lived in Mississippi, lived in Pennsylvania as well. And she reached out to my mother and said, "Hey, your mom just had another baby. Well, your niece just had another baby, and she's not able to take care of her. I don't know, really, there's a lot of secrets from back then, but long story short, my grandmother and my grandfather, they still had children at home themselves, and so they weren't able to keep me as well. My mother was like on the move from what I was told, and so she had me, and she wasn't able to take care of me, and they already had my older sister. So my great-grandmother reached out to my mom and asked her, "Hey, you guys are church going, you don't run the streets, you don't do anything, I know you haven't had any children. What about getting her?" And my mom was like, "Of course I would take her, but she's not going to send a little baby like that to me." Stay tuned for part two.